I don't need to open this video raving about how good Game Pass is because we're past that point already. Instead, let's talk about one issue that I do have with Game Pass, the paradox of choice. Haven't heard of it? Essentially, when we have too many choices, it makes it harder to ever come to a decision. It's choice paralysis. And Game Pass, my friends, has got a lot of great choices. So we're here as the Co-op Bros to take the burden off your back and narrow Game Pass's excellent array of co-op games down to what we think are some of the best. Quick disclaimer, we haven't played every co-op game on Game Pass, that would be crazy, so we're not here to rank them from worst to best. But we played more than we realized, and probably more than you'd think, so we decided to select a handful that we know are going to be a good time if it fits what you and your squad want out of a game. So sit back, relax, and let us tell you about our favorite co-op games on Game Pass.
Since this isn't a ranked video, we're gonna do this in chronological order, which means going back to a time before the channel even existed. The year is 2018 and we're playing A Way Out. As the first game by Hazelight Studios, A Way Out walked so It Takes Two could fly. It set up a great foundation for last year's GOTY winner to build on, but honestly, it's a pretty great co-op game in its own right. If you don't know, this is a narrative game that's built from the ground up around co-op. While the follow-up is way more ambitious, I still think about how good the story of A Way Out was. Experiencing all the twists and turns together and even having power over how the story turns out makes for a great co-op experience that you can easily knock out in a single weekend. Plus, you can use the Friend Pass feature, which lets your friend play online for free if you own the game. And yes, that counts for you owning the game on Game Pass, which is pretty sweet.
While we haven't reviewed Overcooked on this channel, we've spent a significant amount of time with it, and the sequel is here on Game Pass. And guess what? Overcooked 2 is a fantastic co-op game. I played it as recently as a few weeks ago casually at a friend's house with myself, him, and my wife, and we had a blast. It has that magical ability to be accessible to just about anyone as it controls so simply, yet it never feels like it's too easy like it was built for babies. Overcooked was so good in fact that it basically created an entire subgenre of co-op games. And Overcooked 2 is only better with more interesting settings and recipes. So if you want an easy pick-me-up game for a group of friends that's got a nice, short, 6-ish hour campaign, you truly can't go wrong with Overcooked 2.
We reviewed Deep Rock Galactic earlier this year when it was made available on PS Plus in February, but you know what's better than PS Plus? Game Pass. That's coming from a Sony fanboy, so you know it's true. Anyways, this is a truly stellar co-op title with all the stuff we look for. Unique classes, challenging gameplay, but it'll forever be known to us for its community building mechanics. It's a clunky term, but we're working on it. Basically, it's just such a fun game to hang out in and gives you plenty of opportunities to goof off with your friends. The campaign and endgame are definitely on the longer side, coming in at nearly 60 hours, but honestly, you could really pop in and play this with your friends for 20 hours and have just as much fun. Or stick it out and go all the way. Any way you play, this is a no-brainer on Game Pass.
Sometimes I look back at our catalog of reviews and I just think, dang, I am so glad we reviewed that game. Spelunky 2 is one of those games. Everyone knows Spelunky has some really fun co-op shenanigans, but I want to continue to remind people that this game is fundamentally better in co-op. Working together by reviving each other's dead bodies, or using each other as test dummies, or yes, sometimes sending each other to their doom accidentally.
Just go, oh no, it's over.
Oh
jeez. Puppy!
Is just way too much fun, and you miss out on that in a single player run. The only thing that bummed us as online players was the lack of progression, but that didn't stop us from having some really deep runs. Local is definitely preferred because of that, but either way, Spelunky 2 is an excellent choice. And you can play it for as little as long as you like. You really don't need to roll credits to feel like you've accomplished something. If a co-op roguelite platformer even looks remotely interesting to you and your friends, then you gotta play Spelunky 2.
As I said earlier, It Takes Two doubles down on everything A Way Out sets up. But it doesn't stop there. The team at Hazelight absolutely packed this thing with 10 times the amount of minigames, 100 times the amount of gameplay mechanics, and 1,000 times the most annoying character in that talking book, but that's besides the point. I don't know what else can be said of this game. It rightfully earned Game of the Year last year. And as the prestige co-op outlet that we are, we can honestly say it's one of the best co-op games ever made. We had a blast playing this, and we're constantly surprised at how easily the game would shift from one genre to the next. Whether you're playing this as a friend or your partner, to have this on Game Pass is a steal, so we recommend hopping on it while you still can.
Outriders is an excellent co-op game, and I will die on that hill. Now, I can't defend it from launch to now, there's been a lot of ups and downs. But when you have a squad of 3 people, all with diversified builds, with abilities popping off left and right, you cannot deny that this is an excellent co-op game. What Outriders did better than any other looter shooter we've played, and trust me, we've played our fair share, is it gives you meaningful gear that affects your build and your abilities throughout the entire campaign, beginning to finish. You don't have to wait until the end game to feel like you have a build that has powerful synergy. And those class abilities work seamlessly with other classes. You almost don't even have to think about how you're going to work together, you just do. Overall, it just comes together as a really fun campaign with your friends, all other nitpicks aside. And hey, if that's what you want, not an endless grind, but a fun 15 to 16 hour campaign, Outriders is a great choice on Game Pass.
If you're a fan of the channel, you might already know that I'm a huge fan of all things horror. So getting to play an Aliens game with my dude, yeah, that was a real treat for me. I watched the original movies in the lead up to playing this game, and I can say it is a very faithful companion and surprisingly a pretty good co-op game. There's different classes with unique arsenals, a cool progression system, but at the end of the day, the thing we loved most about this game was simply how fun it was to play. That sounds a bit childish to say like, yeah dude, it was so fun, but what I mean is that it's almost like playing an arcade game. The best moments are hunkering down in a long corridor, everyone taking a lane, and just letting the lead fly at the oncoming alien horde. Just looking at this makes me want to dive back in, honestly. Don't expect too much more from this experience, which is what makes it perfect for Game Pass. The campaign is under 10 hours, but there's also a horde mode and some crazy difficulty options if you end up sticking around for more.
It may not be a popular opinion, but we're not here as YouTubers to make soft takes. That's right, I'm here to re-suggest Back 4 Blood for your consideration. Now I know, calm down everyone, I have my reasons. As a matter of fact, if you really want to know why, check out our recent re-review of Back 4 Blood in 2022. To summarize that video, we're really impressed with the comeback Back 4 Blood has made since its launch. The base game bugs feel ironed out, the DLC packages nicely complement each other, and all the potential Back 4 Blood showed as a co-op game feels fully realized. And it's on Game Pass, what more could you want? How about the fact that it only takes one person owning the DLC for your whole group to get to play it together? No, we don't work for Turtle Rock's marketing team, we just think they deserve some credit here. Back 4 Blood is significantly better than we, as a cognitive video game community mind, remember, so don't miss out on it, even a year later.
As the end of the year is right around the corner, I think it's safe to say Nobody Takes the World will be remembered as one of the year's indie gems. Which is impressive as the game came out right at the beginning of the year, but it was also a day one Game Pass title, which always helps. This game gets so much right. The writing is hilarious, the classes are simple yet really fun, and the progression with the quest system is really engaging. We were also surprised by how well it works in co-op. There's a lot of freedom as to how to tackle the story, whether it's sticking to the main path or doing some of the side quests, which seem to lead to some of the most amusing content. This horse interaction was probably one of my favorite moments in gaming this year, not gonna lie.
Dumb horse. Now
this is a horse.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. As far as indie co-op games go, this has our vote for one of the best of the year, so get on Game Pass to check it out.
Look at me with 2 hot takes in a row. That's right, I'm here to suggest that Rainbow Six Extraction is a good co-op game to try on Game Pass. Now I know, calm down everyone, I have my reasons. I think Extraction got a bad rep for a couple of reasons. For one, it's the PvE cousin to the excellent PvP Rainbow Six Siege. So there was a certain expectation for how this game would be. And comparing a game that has become a community favorite like that to a smaller spin-off like this just feels unfair. It also set up the game as a live service title that had to supply endless hours of fun, and I think that was the wrong approach by Ubisoft. We played Extraction for a good 15 hours and felt great about that time. No, it probably doesn't have 100 hours of replayability like it wants to have, but using your abilities and sneaking around enemies with those perfect callouts, completing an objective flawlessly, felt really fun in co-op. We were trying to stay frosty in every mission, and when we did, it was good. So don't expect too much out of Extraction, just expect a good time with friends. And Game Pass makes it perfect for exactly that.
As YouTubers / gaming journalists, or whatever it is you want to call us, we typically have a good grasp on the year's hottest releases. But every once in a while, a game will sneak up and receive all this buzz out of nowhere that has us going, That was Sniper Elite 5 for us. Admittedly, this game looks super mid to me. But thankfully, it was on Game Pass, so we could try it out without risking any bugs. I'm really glad we did, because simultaneously popping Nazi heads together was a ton of fun. And yes, the ridiculous kill cam never gets old.
And fire?
Fire.
Boom!
Let's go! It has a short campaign with a couple of really cool levels, and it all works pretty well in co-op. This game feels like an old school co-op game which both works for and against it at times, but again, it's on Game Pass, so no skin off your back.
Editor, hit the intro. Enough said, this is a great game. But for real, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is one of my favorite suggestions to make on Game Pass specifically, because as great and as fun as this game is with friends, it is only a short 2 to 3 hours if you just want to play the campaign, and I get why people were not thrilled with that when it released. So having it on Game Pass feels perfect, and it definitely justifies a download. You won't be wowed by in-depth co-op mechanics, but the simplistic fun reminds me a lot of Overcooked 2, for example. You can play it with just about anyone, and with 6 players local or online, that could not be more true. It's poppy, exciting, and just a good time. Once again, let's have Michelangelo close us out.
This may surprise some of you, but I did my first escape room ever earlier this year. I don't know how, but I pretty much slept through the entire escape room craze of 2015. So of course, I was itching to play Escape Academy, a co-op puzzle game that pretty much has you solving escape room puzzles, but with a friend. After playing a couple co-op puzzle games like Operation Tango and We Were Here Forever, it's refreshing to play one we can actually get behind and recommend without issuing any caveats. Part of what makes Escape Academy so good is that you can actually go into split screen at any point when playing online. And no, it's not cheating, it actually helps you solve puzzles and avoids the miscommunication that we often felt in those other games. There's a lot of variety to the escape rooms too, from being trapped in a flooding building to deciphering codes as part of a rescue mission. Any way you look at it, this is worth your time, and on Game Pass, I mean, come on, you gotta give it a shot.
So there you have it. That was 13 games we feel confident suggesting for you and your friends on Game Pass. We love to update this list as the years go on and we play more games, so once we've amassed another handful of really good co-op titles that are on Game Pass, we'll probably be back with the second version of this video. If you don't want to miss out on that, be sure to subscribe and join us for the ride. We review co-op titles, curate lists of great co-op games like this video, stream some fun co-op gameplay every once in a while, and update you on any co-op news through our monthly series. We try to be the one-stop shop for all things co-op. Thanks for watching, consider liking this video if it added some value, and we'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.